Hello and welcome back to the channel. We'll continue our work on our, let's call it Uber clone. What we're gonna do today is adding the search functionality to filter through the data we get from the server. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into the client folder and then add styled components, because we'll need a little bit, just a tiny bit of styling there. Okay, so let's first create a container here. So that's gonna be called container. This is gonna be styled. Let's do import from styled components styled. Do we need styles here? It seems like it. Okay, we should be good now. So it's going to be styled div, as you may imagine. And what we need actually is to use flexbox here, because we'd like a simple 2-column layout. So display flex, flex set to 1 and height full screen. Okay, that's as simple as it can get. Okay, and now in map view, let's check our, well, that's the only thing we have here. So we can also rewrite this to something like map container and go for styled like that, a little bit higher. Okay, so that's gonna be a style div. Let's see, with well, actually we don't need with. What we need is flex basis. Set this to 70%. Height like that, and now it should take up 70% of our screen. So let's see. Yeah, okay, so now we have a nice space to put our search container into. So let's start with that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create new folder here, and I'm gonna call it search. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a new component, search list, tsx, and probably I could do search components or search styles. Yes. Okay. So we have to figure that one out. What we'll have to add is, well, maybe let's start with our app, because, yeah, it's right here. We'll need to, sorry, to add a few things here. So okay, we'll need a search term, naturally. So that's gonna be search term and car search set search term, and that's gonna be an empty string for the starters. Okay, that's good. We also need function here. So I'm going to create one on search term changed. Right, it's going to take search. Let's call it new search term. It's going to be a string. And we're going to set this as the new search term, sorry. Okay. That's good. Now I'm gonna just bootstrap a component here. Gonna add these here. So what we're gonna need is search term, which is gonna be a string, on search term changed, which is gonna be a function. That's the right typing. Okay, and then what we need is, of course, the vehicle array. So vehicle array, vehicle, and an array. Okay, so there's gonna be a one little issue, as you can imagine, because let's import. Okay, and it just doesn't look the standalone files, right? So I added an import, so not sure what you want me to do here. Well, there's gonna be one small issue here, and just let me speak. Okay. Now it should be good. Excuse me, could you like recompile? Okay. We're gonna have a small issue here, and the issue is, as you may remember, we are serving 10,000 of data points here, right? So that's a lot. You can see there are many points around here. And it wouldn't be efficient to put all of that data into the rendering at once. That's a lot of nodes, because I'm gonna put a search box here, then I'm gonna put a list of results here. And for starters, the search term is gonna be empty, so the list will contain 10,000 entries. That's a lot. And it's not really efficient to show all of the data into the list. Well, we could do something like, you know, vehicle array, right? And then do something like, I don't know, UL, and then vehicle array map vehicle return li the key of vehicle ID, and here we can, there's something like vehicle name. Okay, we do that and reload the page and maybe use it. So it's going to be search list, and we need to pass the props. And then we have a search term. Sorry for that. Search term, and we have on search term changed. On search term changed. Okay. Do all that. Well, as you can see, maximum call stack size exceeded. So we're just rendering too much. And as you can see, it does render, but we have an error. And to be honest, I'm not going to cut it, and I cannot confirm that this is actually everything we want. Also, we need a separate scroll, as you can see here, so that the map stays in place and only this column is being scrolled. Okay. So maybe we'll start with that actually. Let's see what we can do here. We need an input and we need a wrapper. So we're going to create search list wrapper. Or maybe I'm going to show you some cool technique when it comes to creating styles with style components. What you can do here is export search list wrapper as a style div, and we can even give them the flex basis. That's gonna be 30%. Okay, and I'm gonna preemptively create here something called search row, style div, and I'm gonna give this a text align of center. Here now I can say something like import all as s from come on, search styles. Now I can just say s search list wrapper. Okay, so you just import everything at once here. This kind of cool technique, I think. Okay, so we definitely need an input here, right? And what we need is a placeholder, and we're gonna say search by name. But the value is gonna be the search. Okay, we need that actually. Search term, and we're gonna take that. The value is gonna be search term, and then we need on change. So definitely take the event and set on search and change the event target values like React 101, right? Okay, we have that, which is fine. About that list, right? What we'd like to use here is some kind of implementation of virtualized list. And what virtualized list does, it's gonna basically only render stuff that's visible in our window. So it's not gonna create, take a look here, it's not gonna create 10,000 entries, or how many actually, with li, but rather I can tell that, well, there's about 20 HTML nodes visible in the screen. So the virtualized list is gonna only create those 20 entries, no more, and then reuse those as we scroll, passing new data there. Okay, so you can imagine it being like a closed set of elements that is being fed new data as we scroll down or up. And that's going to be way more efficient because we're not creating these additional nodes, or at least not as many as we do here. So what we're going to use here is the package called, the one I used is React Virtualized Auto Sizer. Okay, and if we go to the repository, there's a documentation. I hope there's gonna be, okay, well, there's no demo, but you'll see how it works. Last update, well, it's pretty stable, and it's based on the React Virtualized, which is pretty known solution for the virtualized list. Okay, so let's go here, and we're gonna add React Virtualized Auto Sizer and tags for React Virtualized Auto Sizer. Okay, we have that in place. So now we can replace that code with something way more efficient, and we're going to use auto sizer. And since you don't want to help me porting this is coming, of course, from a React Virtualized Auto Sizer. Okay, and this is using the render props style. So it's getting our width and our width and our height. And we're responsible for using that. So basically, what we're gonna add now is another package, and this is called React Window. And this is a new rewrite of React Virtualized that is using the virtualized list pattern. Okay. So can I list a grid field 10%, 100% of the window or height of the page? And this is exactly what we're going to use, right? We're using React Virtualized Auto Sizer and then the React window. So this is here's a demo. Okay, there's an item count, right? But if you take a look at the stuff that is actually being rendered, where does it start? Okay, we can see that, that there's definitely less than 287 entries here, right? Definitely way less. And this is reusing the row that was already created and feeding new data to it. So if we open that one up, there's a row 263, and this is because there's a little bit of offset on the top and on the bottom, so the scrolling is way smoother. If I scroll down, you can see the row is now 292. Okay, and this concept is being taken from basically mobile development, where there are more constraints on the memory and resources for the device. I believe both Android and Kotlin and Swift are using this pattern extensively. Maybe I'm gonna create a video on how you could create your own virtualized list. That could be kind of cool. Okay, so yeah, going back to our code, we're gonna add React window and then types for React window. Okay, we have that on place. Then I'm gonna use list and basically, yeah, list. So let's get, of course you have to import it. So let's import from React window. This is going to be fixed size list as list and list child component props. That's the two that we're gonna need. So here I'm gonna create list and then close it, and then we can set use scrolling to true. We need to specify the height, and I found out that the height like this is kind of great. Width is the width, and then we have item size set to 70. Item count is of course the vehicle array length. And here we have to render the child. I'm gonna list a row, and I'm gonna create a helper here. And this is taking the index and the style from list child, come on, and it has to return some kind of JSX. So I'm gonna use as search row. We're gonna pass the style. Okay. And then what I'm gonna render here is full information about our vehicle. So that's gonna be, let's actually be smart here, because I don't want to repeat myself. Take this and return it, and I'm gonna take our vehicle. It's gonna be vehicles array, and use the index to take the one that we're searching for. Okay, so that's gonna be vehicle name. I'm gonna show latitude, which is vehicle lat, and longitude, which is vehicle long. Okay, it looks like it's working. So okay, now as you can see, we no longer get the error about the maximum stack exceeded, and we can see that our elements, you can see how they switch with the virtualized list, right? So we have, let's see, is Dias tracker here, and then as I scroll, it's moving up and up and up. Okay, so that's really great. Now, one thing left is to, of course, making our search working, right? So basically, what we're going to do here is we're going to go to the map and we're gonna recalculate our vehicle array every time that we're now recalculating it every time the vehicles change, but we also have to recalculate every time our search term changes. And why is that? Well, we have to filter out, we're mapping, and this is correct, but we also have to filter out the things that we don't know, so don't want. So I'm gonna take a vehicle and say, take the vehicle name and bring it to lowercase, just in case, pun intended, and check if that includes the search term. Let's do lowercase 2. Okay, and basically that should work, at least I hope it will. Let's say we would like to filter out the Aston. Okay, and I can see that we have Aston Martin, and so forth and so on. So this is already working, which is great. The one problem though that we have here is let's check this. Maybe we'll be able to fix this problem. That should still work, right? But let's see how often this is being called. Come on. Okay. So as I'm typing, for example, let's try again, Aston Martin. Yeah, you can see every time I type, this whole memorization is being recalculated. And this is not really efficient, if you ask me. What we could try and do is to debounce that that input. So what I mean by that is that I would like to delay the call of that recalculation, right? Until after our users stop typing, for example, for half a second or something like that. That would indicate that he indeed typed all the search term that he wanted, and now it's our time to do the recalculation instead of taking it, making it every single time that user typed anything on the keyboard, because he can be typing a very long sentence, or he can make a mistake and use backspace. Well, let's see whether we can do this. And I'm going to write a simple function here in search utils ts that will allow us to debounce stuff. This is going to take two parameters: callback fire when the timer is off. So that's that. And the delay. Basically, that means fire up that callback after the timer ran out. Okay, so for example, like 500 is going to be half a second, of course. So it's going to be the simplest way to debounce stuff. We're going to create a reference to a timer. And I'm going to return, let's say, search term string. So that's going to be a function, and it's going to clear previous timeout and set a new one. This and fire callback with search term after a delay. And that should be first that and that. Okay, so how does it work exactly? When I call debounce, it's going to return a function. That function is accepting a new search term. Whenever it is called, it will clear the timer and set up a new one, and then call the callback after the timer happens. So basically, as a user, as the user is typing, right, we're canceling any previous timers, and waiting for our delay to run off. So let's say he typed an A, right? And here we have a timer for 500, right? And after that, we proceed with our callback. But after half of the time, he added another letter, AS, and now what we do is clear previous timer, previous timer. So for example, that one, and set new timer. And then he stopped typing, which means that after run callback. Okay, and this is the simplest way to debounce a function, right? So we're always waiting for the delay to run out, and if new input is being provided, we interrupt the timer that is currently running and setting up a new one. So here I can use it like this. Let's create something like debounce function, debounce set search term. It's going to be debounce search term set search term. Like that, we have to pass a function here. Search term and delay half a second. Okay, and now what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna set the search term here. I'm gonna set we use the debounced search term. Okay, let's see how that works now. Okay, let's reload, and I'm gonna start typing, and nothing's really happening. Right, my input isn't working at all. So why is that happening? Well, let's say, could we go into our state here just to show it to you. Okay, components app. Excuse me, is this even working? Okay, there's some map view. Okay, I'm not gonna show it to you because it's gonna take too long to show, or maybe it won't. As you can see, nothing is happening and the state isn't changing at all, right? I can even see whether it is re-rendering. So let's do console log search term. Okay. So there's nothing here, right? What we need actually to do is to add a second state, right? That's gonna be car, it's car search term, or yeah, it can be like car search term and set car search term. Okay. And that's gonna be basically a copy of that state. But here we're gonna use set car search term, and we're gonna actually do the recalculation every time that one changes. And this still has to be called. So basically, we have two states. That one is like the immediate one. The one, sorry, we need also that here. So we have two states. That one is the immediate one, and it is the immediate change you see in the input, right? As you can tell right here. Okay. And the second one is the one we use to efficiently reiterate over our array of vehicles. So that's going to be car search term. Okay, so actually to make it even more readable, that and that. Okay, so watch now closely. Okay, can I get my data? Okay, thank you. Okay, watch closely now. Aston Martin. Okay, and as I start typing, you can see that the car search term stays empty for a while, and after I start typing, it's being updated properly, and now the recalculation here is not being done as often. I could even bump it up to, let's say, 2 seconds, which may seem a little bit extreme. And now you can see that our recalculation is being called, well, not so often, right? But still, I'm gonna say that's too many times. So can we fix it a little bit more, right? Because I would like it to be called, well, basically only once. What is missing here? That shouldn't be a missing dependency. Oh yeah, okay. Well, of course, it's wrong. No, it should be correct. So let's try this again. Okay, it's almost good, right? It's like being called so too many times. I would only like for it to be called once. Oh yeah, and it's being called with the old. Okay, I called with the old value. So that's something again. Let's try that again. Well, it's pretty good, but it's not canceling out the old calls. Or is it? Well, I'm gonna leave it at that, and maybe in the next episode we're gonna figure out how to actually code only once, because that's our goal. But this episode is pretty long as we speak, so yeah, 42 minutes, way longer than I expected. So thank you for that. This is how you can do the search and debounce the input. And I'm gonna see you in the next one. Goodbye. Hi guys, I couldn't just leave it like this because I would scratch my brain all night. So what we're missing here is of course the use callback, because without it, that function, the previous function we had, will be recreated on each render, right? So basically wrapping this use callback and providing an empty dependency array here is going to create the result we expected. So as we wait here, only one call to the bounce function, which is actually doing the recalculation, which is perfect. So here we have it. Just wrap it with the use callback. Thank you.